On the 17th of July, we had the first of council meetings in which we do things a very different way. We decided to take just one topic, we all spoke on that topic, and the motion which we moved on climate change was proposed by the Mayor of Liverpool and seconded by me. During that debate, we came up with all sorts of ideas from across the council chamber of things that need to be done about the most pressing issue which faces the globe at the moment, which is that we're just about to kill the globe for our successors. In July, we had one of the hottest summers ever, and you might think, oh, that's quite nice. But we also had some of the worst rain ever. And as I record this, we've got real problems with thousands of people evacuated from their homes in Whalley Bridge because of the amount of rain that came down, flooding the reservoir system. What's happening over the last 10 years is unnatural and unsustainable. And at the council meeting, we spoke about the big strategies that the council has to follow, but I made the point continually that the council, central government, can't go it alone because it depends on what you and I do. During this video, we'll be giving you some examples of what we can all do as proud citizens of Liverpool to help alleviate climate change. And this isn't just a problem for somewhere else, and it isn't just a problem for the future. It's a problem for now. Poor quality air in this city is killing people early and is damaging the lungs of young people. If we really want to deal with public health issues in this city, we have to deal with environmental and climate issues at the same time. Many people think that climate change is something that's going to be a long time away. It's something that only affects other countries. It might make the deserts grow. It might affect typhoons in the Caribbean. But I need to tell you that this is change is going to affect Liverpool. And I can do it so easily by asking you to look behind me at the seawall in Birkenhead. You should be able to see, I hope, a black smudge all the way along the sea wall, which ends about 1 metre below the top of the wall. By 2075 at the latest, the sea levels globally will have gone up by 4 metres. And you can see for yourself that there just isn't 4 metres spare there, which means at high tide the water will flow over onto the banks and over onto the land, and it'll do it on this side of the river as well. If as a city we're going to take climate change seriously, one of the things we've got to do is to look at the things we eat, because a lot of the stuff that we eat travels a long way to us and creates food miles and all sorts of environmental problems. Now, clearly, we're not going to grow bananas or lemons or oranges here, and we're never going to be totally self-sustainable. But we can produce a lot more of our own produce. So the council needs to have a strategy to create more allotments like these at Hart Hill in Calderstones Park. What land can we use permanently for allotments, because there's a big demand? Or if we know that there are places that aren't going to be developed for 5 to 10 years perhaps, what can we do to use that land temporarily? But it isn't just what the council does, it's what you do as well. If you have a garden, do you use any of it for growing vegetables or fruit? It's great fun, it saves you money, and of course it's a lot healthier because you know what pesticides are or aren't being used on them. So yet again, here is something that the council can do, but there's something that you can do as well. One of the best ways of scrubbing the atmosphere of all the stuff that goes into it, particularly from cars and lorries, is by having big trees like those you can see behind me in Calderstones Park. Each tree takes out the waste products of a car for the entire year. And the more we have, therefore, the cleaner our air will be, and air pollution is a major problem in this city. The council needs to consider its own tree strategy, not only preserving wherever we can the best that's currently here, but also looking at all its land holdings across the city to see where more plantings could take place. I believe that even in Calderstones Park there are places where we could grow more trees. But again, there's something that you can do as well. Is there room in your garden for a tree? Not one this size, but a nice tree. What about where you work, your business? What about where your children go to school? So you could look at this on a personal basis or a business basis, but what I'm going to do is I've got someone from the Woodlands Trust coming, and they're going to walk around my ward with me, the church ward in Liverpool, to look at what we've got, what we could do, and where we could do it. And the good news is there's actually money for this. An appalling report came out last week that we haven't taken 1 penny of money from the government for the last 8 years for tree planting. Now, I think that's pretty scandalous. The money is there. Let's get it off the government. Let's use it for planting trees here in Liverpool. So one of the biggest challenges we have as a city is to improve our recycling rates, because we have one of the worst rates of any city in the country. I'm outside my house now, and these are our 3 bins. And one of the things we all could do to help the council is to put the right stuff in the right bin. I'm just done a quick check and I think we're okay, but this is for recycling, the green is for green waste, and this one is for everything else. But if I went to look in a lot of bins, the council tell me I'd find the wrong stuff in the wrong bins. Now that's partly our fault as individuals, we don't care enough, but I have to say it is quite confusing sometimes, particularly what do I put in the recycling bin? What sort of plastic goes in here? What sort of other products are easily recyclable? Which carton should go in here and which should go in the general rubbish? So the council could help by coming up with better strategies at a big level, but also work with everyone who lives in Liverpool to actually make better use of these bins. And you might think, why do I bother? Just put it in the bin, they'll take it away. It matters for 2 reasons. One, it costs you, the council taxpayer, money, because the less we put into landfill, the less we actually have to charge back to you as a council taxpayer. And the other reason is that if you put it in the wrong bin and it goes to landfill when it could be recycled, it could be 200 years rotting away, sending gases out into the air and making the land which you build over it absolutely unusable for generations. So this is something the council needs to do, something at that big strategic level, but you and I can do as householders living in Liverpool. So I hope that not only will you listen to this video, but you'll resolve to do something about it. And you can always tell me at richardkemp68@yahoo.co.uk what you're doing, what you think the council should be doing, what you think the government could be doing. Because together we must urgently resolve the big climate change issues which will not go away.